Why is it that every game you kickstart or follow the development of just flops? Do you remember Artifact? If not, then lucky you. But somehow a huge developer with a massive amount of money behind it failed miserably. So how do the developers of the Bazaar avoid this? Or are they just destined to fail? In recent memory, new card games set to expand and innovate the way things are done have not gone too well. If we go back to Artifact, a card game by Valve and the creator of the most successful paper card game of all time, Richard Garfield of Magic the Gathering, still managed to flop. Is the Bazaar set to follow in its footsteps, or will Reynad succeed where Garfield and Gaben couldn't? Now, you might ask, who the hell is this tiny YouTuber and why does he think he has any idea how this will all play out? And you'd be somewhat right to think so. I am just one person, and I'm not a developer myself, but I have a strong history with both of these games. If you're new to the channel, hi, hello, how the hell did YouTube decide that this was the first video to show you? But I'm Greg, and here we mostly cover the development of video games, in particular the Bazaar at the moment. It's a toss-up between me and my Discord community as to the title of King Bazaar Nerd, at least for anyone that doesn't have the game, and of those that do not have access to the full game at the moment, I'm about as good of an option as you have. As for Artifact, well, the Artificers Guild was my previous channel, where we covered the development of Artifact for years, growing to nearly 10,000 subscribers at launch, blah 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 blah. You guys don't need to know that. But that is part of my first difference to call out here. The sheer difference of scale and expectations of these two games. So that is basically the story of Artifact. It was announced to tens if not hundreds of thousands at one of the biggest esports events of all time, and certainly the largest prize pool at the time, Dota's The International. But the crowd's response was to be disappointed the moment it was revealed as a card game. But when you announce something to that much of the world at once, you will undoubtedly gather fans. I was one, and I was joined by thousands. For the coming months, we followed the development of the game, watching the medium-sized community blossom as more and more content creators appeared, bringing their fans along as well, and the hype for the game reaching new heights every day as we approached the beta. But by the time the beta and the game was released, the hype had died down. The flames had been lit too early and it didn't hit the ground running, rather it collided with the ground in a devastating inferno, spilling out players everywhere. The Bazaar is on a very different trajectory. We are still in the airport, the torch still being crafted, let alone lit. While there is a lot of content for us long haulers, as there was with Artifact, the scale and expectations have been managed better. The most publicity the game gets is from the couple thousand that tune in and out and watch Reynad when he goes live. And that's pretty rare, although thankful for the few times it happens. A drop in the ocean, though, compared to Artifact at the International. Other than that, the team haven't started their marketing for the game yet, at least as far as I know. Where Artifact had thousands of fans to lose at around launch, the Bazaar can only really go up from here. And it still has the budget to do so. But does it have the game to do it? Can Reynad really stand a better chance than the creator of the most popular card game of all time, Richard Garfield of Magic the Gathering? Tempo Storm have never created a game before, and their lead designer up until very recently hadn't either, Reynad. He's just some ex-Hearthstone pro, right? And that inexperience has been apparent. It has had its effects. Artifact started out with an idea pretty much bang on to what it ended up being. 3 lanes, a focus on heroes and minions, and a colour system, like Magic the Gathering. The Bazaar, however, is an entirely different beast from what it was originally thought to be. And the game has gone through multiple rebuilds, having systems torn out and put back in many times as the team found their feet. But it worked. The team weren't afraid to break the rules, and while this has caused a few delays to the game, it has brought something far more valuable: innovation. Artifact was an attempt to capture the Dota world in an existing physical card game, including its economic model, which was a bit of an innovation for the online card scene, but that was terrible for the player and great for the owner. Shock horror, that didn't work. it turns out just shafting your player base out of 20 quid to get the game, just for them to have to spend another £10 just to buy an axe, doesn't work. The Bazaar, however, is an attempt to create a fully digital card game that isn't trying to be the new anything of something already existing. It is designed to be the best deck building experience for the digital platform that is possible. It is this innovation that is going to capture people, and they won't come in their millions on day one. We'll have an initial surge, but then people will keep finding this gem of a game, which is free to play, and will join its ever-growing player base. Now, go check out this video where we reveal the secrets of the most recent Bazaar gameplay. If you're looking to keep up with the game, this is a must.